Welcome to PPT Janice. So in today's video we are going to learn how to create a similar futuristic slide. So this kind of slide can be used for labeling objects, or you can just add your description to one side and move this structure to the other side. Okay, so let's begin. So here, as you can see here, I have the circle, and on the circle I have just grouped this image. So I have taken this image from the eye stalk. Okay, now in the next step we are just going to insert a grid. So for that we need the line, and the shapes will go for lines. Okay, and we are just going to insert the line like this by pressing the shift key so that there is a straight line. Done. Select this kind of line only. Now in the next option we are going to click for the format background, and then we are going to select for the line, and here we are just going to increase the transparency to around 85% for this line. Now we are going to make the exact copy of the line several times. Okay, so we will just place at a position. Now let's press Ctrl D continuously so that we have so many lines at equal distances. Okay, so like this we have the lines here. Now I'm going to make the exact copy of the line one more time, and this time in the shape format tab I'm going to rotate it by 90 degrees so that I have the horizontal line. So for this horizontal line I'm just going to adjust it like this. Fine. Similarly I'm going to make the several copies of the lines, and I'm going to place it like this. Fine. By pressing the Ctrl D, make the exact copy of the lines several times. So like this we have the basic grid. Okay, now in the next step we are just going to insert the same line. Okay, so by pressing the Ctrl D key we are going to make the exact copy, and then after 5 to 6 blocks like this I'm going to place it on top of the previous line, and I'm just going to reduce the transparency to around 50% like this. And same way I'm going to make the copy of it. Okay, so this is the way we are going to prepare the grid. Okay. Now in the next step we are going to insert the shape O, and here we are going to insert it like this. Okay, and let's just reduce its size by pressing the shift key like this. This time the shape outline is going to be this blue in color, and the shape fill is going to be no fill, sorry. Okay, now let's go to the format shape option. Alright, and in the format shape option we will go for the lines option here, and we are just going to increase the width to somewhat this size. Alright, and let's just adjust the size of the circle. Fine. Now in the next step we are not going to have the solid line, we will go for the gradient line. Okay, now in the gradient line we will, for the first stop we are going to give this blue color. Okay, then we will have the second stop very near to the first one, and we are going to have the black color. Okay, similarly we will add more stops the same way, the blue, and again very near the black stop. So on we are going to give stops again the black, and then finally the blue stop. Fine. Beautiful. Now in the next step I'm just going to make a copy of it by pressing the Ctrl D, the same circle. Now I'm going to place it on top of the previous one, and by pressing the Ctrl and Shift key I'm going to increase the size of the circle like this. Okay, this time let's just increase the width to around 14 points. Like this. Okay, if needed, then just reduce the size a little bit. Fine, perfect. Now here in the middle, instead of black, we are going to give the white color. Okay, and let's just adjust the stops like this. Fine, perfect. Now similarly, we are going to make the copy of it one more time. Okay, let's just select this oval and then press the Ctrl D. Place it on top of the previous one only. Now pressing the Ctrl and Shift key, and by using the mouse, we are going to increase the size of it. Okay, now here we are going to increase the width, okay, around 20 points. That's it. But this time, for each and every stop, we are going to increase the transparency. So around 70% transparency, 85% will go. Okay, so for each stop, the transparency will change. The colors are going to be the same, but just we have to change the transparency. Fine. If needed, you can just increase the width as per your requirement. Alright, so the basic structure is ready. Now, in the next step, we are just going to select all these circles together. Alright, and for all these circles, we are going to give the animation. In the animation tab, let's go for add animation, and in more entrance effect, we are going to select the zoom. Okay, that's it. The zoom timing is perfect. Let's just start it with previous. Now again, we are going to select all the circles one more time, and we are going to add animation, and we are going to give spin animation. Okay, so the spin animation is going to start with previous only. Alright, now for the zoom animations, we are going to increase the time. Okay, so for around 1.50 seconds, we are going to give for the zoom animation. Now to do for the alternate circles. Here for the alternate circle, we are going to go to the effect option, and we are going to give it the counterclockwise like this. Similarly here in the effect option, counterclockwise. That's it. Okay, I'm going to select all the animations here and place it. So somewhat of this kind is just going to happen. Now in the next step, what do we want? We want some lines to appear. So for that, we are just going to insert the line from the insert shape option. Let's just insert a normal line like this. Okay, and let's just give it white color. That's it. Okay, and if you want, you can just increase the width for the line. Instead of 0.5, you can just give it for 1 point. And in the next step, we will just insert the oval like this, a very tiny oval. For this oval, the shape fill is going to be no, and the shape outline is going to be white. And let's just have the outline to be 1 point or 2 points. And like this, we are going to place it. In the next step, we will just group the circle and the line together. Okay, by pressing the Ctrl G. Now we are going to make the copy of it, and let's just place it wherever you want to place. It's on you how you want to place and where you want to place. Okay, similarly make more copies of it, and for the zigzag pattern, let's just ungroup it. Okay, ungroup it, and then add one more line and reduce the size of these lines. And let's just make the zigzag pattern like this, and then place the circle on at the end. Now in the next step we are just going to select all these lines like this, and 3, and we will go to the animation, and in the animation we are going to give the wipe animation, and in the wipe animation we are going to select from left. Beautiful. Now in the animation pane it is going to start with previous, okay, but we have to delay it by 2 seconds, and let's just increase the duration to 1.5 seconds like this. Done. So now in the next step we are going to give one more rectangle. Now in the next step we are going to add one more slide, and this slide we are going to insert a rectangle. So let's go for this rectangle like this. Okay, easy. Now in the next step we are going to give it a gradient effect, and the shape outline is going to be no outline. Let's just remove the gradient stops over here. Okay, we want only 2 stops, and for both the stops the color is going to be white only. We just have to play with the transparency. Okay, so like this kind of transparency we want. Now in the next step we'll go to the effect options, and we will go to the soft edges, and in the soft edges let's just have it for 13 points like this. Alright, so this kind of rectangle it is ready. Now in the next step we are going to insert one more rectangle. So let's just take this rectangle. Shape outline is going to be no outline, and shape fill is going to be exactly the same of the background type. Okay, now this is really very important step. Here in this step we are going to take the circle, the innermost circle. We are going to make a copy of it. We are going to place it on top of our rectangle. Now in the next step we are going to ungroup it. So let's go to shape format option and group, ungroup it. Okay, we do not want this image, so let's just remove it. Now in the next step let's just select the rectangle. By pressing the Ctrl key select the circle, and in the merge shape option let's just subtract. So basically we will have a hole like this. Okay, now let's just make a copy of this rectangle by pressing the Ctrl X key. Okay, and let's just place it over here by pressing Ctrl V, and in the shape format option let's just send it to back. Perfect. Now in the next step we are going to select the innermost circle, and now we are going to send it to back. Okay, now we will take this rectangle. We are going to copy it. We are going to paste it over here. Okay, and let's just place it somewhat over here. Okay, but for this rectangle we want it just behind our black rectangle. So let's just place it behind our black rectangle. So here we are going to place it. Should be behind the rectangle, black rectangle, but in front of the innermost circle. Okay, now in the next step let's just give it the animation, and the animation is going to be the line animation, and like this. Okay, let's just adjust the end point of the line over here. Now go to the animation pane, and it is going to start with previous. Perfect. And in the effect options let's just reduce the smooth end and the smooth start. We do not want any smooth and smooth art. Now let's just check auto reverse, and in the timing we are going to repeat until the end of set, and then hit the OK button. Now let's have a preview for the same. Beautiful.